Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going face. Quite simply, we be Smorkin. We are going to represent the Trifarians in a deck that features the brothers, both Draven and buffed up Darius. In case you guys don't know, Darius was buffed in the recent balance patch, and he went from a 10-5 to a 10-6 as he levels up. Doesn't really matter all that much, though it does come down, like it does come to play in several cases, right? But it's not really a super relevant change to the card. Despite that, the popularity spike in Noxus aggro decks and just Darius decks in general has been ridiculous, man, because people are all over the Basilisk Rider right now, and that was not really what I anticipated at first. Like buffs like the buff to the champion Braum, for example, and even to cards like Anivia and the likes of Jay Medarda, amongst other things. I felt like those were overall more significant than just some minor stat tweaks to these, but people have been really diving into Darius aggro builds, as I recorded a live session with this today and I ran to a lot of Darius decks you guys are gonna see. So what's the general idea of this deck, and why are we running the cards that we're running? Basically, it's pretty straightforward. Like, we're playing units on curve. We are playing very big, large units. We potentially give them overwhelm, and we smack our opponent's nexus in. That's our win condition. Just attacking, and then attacking some more. We're running a bunch of Trifarian cards, though, because we are playing a full set of the Trifarian Assessor. We have a bit of a slower version of these Noxious aggro decks that are running around, but we're slower, but we can play more for a long value game, right? With Trifarian Assessor, we can actually outvalue control decks, and we don't rely on getting the nutty, crazy opener curve to beat them, right? That's what I don't like about just full-on aggro builds like the Noxus one, right? You can have a very bad opening hand, and then all of a sudden you just don't have the speed, and you have no chance of winning certain matchups, right? With this sort of variant, even though we are slower, and we can't get punished ourselves by not having a proper early curve, I do like the ability to go deep and be able to generate some really strong card advantage through cards like this. And yeah, I'm just a slower player in general, so I like more beefy mid-range styles like this, which is why my variant is the way it is, right? We're running Reckless Trifarian alongside Trifarian Hopeful to give us some early 5-attack targets for the Trifarian Assessor to capitalize on. Obviously, we're playing the new buffed Basilisk Rider, which becomes a 6-4 with Overwhelm. This one stat gain in health is actually pretty massive. There's a lot of trades that this unit doesn't go down to now, and it is low-key a much better version of what the card was before. I think we've all been downplaying the Basilisk Rider for a while, and yeah, it needed a very, very minor buff to really get in the game, and it's all over the place right now, which is kind of funny. We're also running a full set of Kato the Arm, because Kato the Arm is very big, he has very large muscles, and that's the kind of stuff that we want when we're just trying to outmuscle the opponent, quite simply. So we play Kato, we give something muscles, we overwhelm, and we smack the opponent. And we repeat until we win, quite simply. Kato's a good 5-drop. Run Kato. Darius is the most, like, you know, it's basically the late game bomb that we have, right? One of the big objectives that we want to work for is getting our opponent to 10 health or lower, because then we will be able to level up Darius and really just use him as an amazing finisher on top of that. Decisive Maneuver is a card that is seen more and more play in these sorts of decks, and in my opinion, you should be running this card because it fits the strategy really well. The reasoning behind that is because as you stun an enemy, you remove it out of combat. So if you stun an enemy that's blocking a unit with Overwhelm, like the Basilisk Rider, for example, not only are you removing the blocker, you're also pumping up the Basilisk Rider and every other unit you have on board by 2 attack, which means that every unit you have with Overwhelm will deal even more damage, and the unit that you stunned in front of the Basilisk Rider is completely removed from combat, so Basilisk Rider will just deal all that damage directly to the face, which means 8 damage, unless you've used other spells to buff Rider even more, which is tremendous, very, very powerful offensive play, but also can save you some time, especially in aggressive mirror matches, as you can use this to stop a Darius attack, for example, and buy you an extra turn, as those matchups end to be just tend to be races anyways. So this card is super key. We got a full set of Might, Transfusion, and Noxian Fervor. Might and Transfusion, pretty straightforward for this sort of deck. You know, resilience and damage, and over-the-top finishing potential. Noxian Fervor gives us reach to close out games after we require, you know, ourselves to deal with the opponent outside of the combat, and also as a way to utilize it as removal. I like the Noxian Fervor with units like Trifarian, the Reckless Trifarian, because of his stat line. He can actually sponge a Noxian Fervor and still continue to live and attack. And he's just so high statted, man. The fact that he can't block is obviously a big weakness, but in this sort of deck, he's just so damn powerful. And really neat enabler for Trifarian Assessor as well, like I mentioned prior. And at the top end, we have none other than motherfucking Captain Farron. Why are we playing Captain Farron? Because we're playing a more mid-range version of the deck, and we are ready to go for a longer game. And Captain Farron is for control matchups. Matchups in which they're able to stall us out and board wipe us and kind of like build up for their late game. They think that we don't have a late game that can rival theirs. And then we drop Captain Farron, and they realize how wrong they were. They poop their pants as they see this thing coming down to the board, and we just start dropping decimates on the opponent, just getting blasted and attacking with an 8/8 overwhelm unit. So really good way to close out games against the likes of certain Anivia decks that we've seen now running around with Shadow Owls as control builds, amongst others. Really nice tool to close out the gap in those cases. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the deck list right there. Very straightforward. Not one of my favorite decks, you know, for the meme enthusiast. I'm actually not a big fan of this playstyle. It's very straightforward. It's something that I enjoy every now and then when I just want to click buttons, but not really the most intriguing sort of archetype by any means. But for those of you who are, especially for newer players to the game, a deck like this can be really helpful to learn the combat mechanics. And, you know, it's a strong deck to go with. Like Darius, aggro decks are just a strong resource for you to use as a beginner. They're very intuitive and they're very effective at that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Have a solid day. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the daily Legends of Runeterra content that I'm putting out for you. Every single day I upload a new video with a new deck. So you can subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. It's free. Free is fantastic. And I will shut up. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the matches. And I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, Smork versus Smork. We got the little brother though, so hopefully that comes into play. Decisive maneuver is actually really important in this matchup, because at a certain point, like, both of our board states are going to be developed, and we're going to need to have some combat tricks, and this is really going to come into play, I think, so I'm going to keep it. We have a classic 1-2-3 curve here. But we gotta keep in mind that we are facing what is a...
I have my orders. Explosives primed. Everything's in place.
I feel like I have to trade here, though.
Ready. Debit.
I'm gonna pass. Trifarian Hopeful could be decent, but I want him to be a 5-attack unit. Like, that really does come into play when it comes to, like, forcing trades.
The party has
alright. So in this case of, like, Draven versus Iron Ballista, like, the thing is he has to attack now.
got an axe with your name on it.
We'll take the trade, and we get 2 axes. He gets 1 damage, but we get 2 spinning axes, which can really come into play. And now, I like the idea of Crimson Disciple.
Let me show you what I can do.
In Trifarian Hopeful here.
Nothing but Noxian might. Move out.
Getting the Trifarian Hopeful to 5 attack, very important. And now we draw into another one, which is really nice. If we get a Trifarian Assessor here.
Victory at any cost.
I'm surprised he's not attacking with a 3-1 though.
Hold the line.
This would be 8 damage, which puts him at which puts him at Darius range as well. I'm gonna exchange here. Oof. Line up.
Line up.
Get some card draw going on here. I could have gone with double Reckless Trifarian, but I just don't think. I mean, that would have been neat, to be honest. But I can always gang up on that next turn. I have a series of very like menacing attackers here. I have 2 mana backup for Transfusion with Crimson Disciple. I'm lacking Overwhelm, but everything about my hand is really strong. We do have card advantage over our opponent. I mean, we technically have the same amount of cards in hand because we have 2 axes, right? But we have a more developed board state.
I'll handle this myself. Chase them down.
I'm gonna attack with all these.
Try me. Get ready, girl.
Get ready, girl. Yeah, because if he only blocks here, I would have gone for Transfusion into. Wait. No. If you don't block, you're dead. If you don't block, you're dead. Wow. Wow.
Is that all?
Don't be greedy. Do not be greedy, kids. Or Trifarians will come for you. Dude, we're facing... Dude, Darius is really popular lately. It's funny because when it came to like the cards that actually received buffs, I didn't expect Basilisk Rider and Darius to be... Like, to be completely honest with you guys, like this was like an easy deck for me to build. So I needed a deck to record with today, since I didn't stream yesterday, right? But people are all over Nox's aggro now. We're gonna drop the Captain Farron. Trifarian Horful is neat. Noxian Fervor can be pretty useful in regards to taking down Misfortune. So I am inclined to keep the rest of this hand. Even though this is not really ideally the 2-drop that I want to lead off with. Because I do want the buff from it.
No one's the wiser. This'll shake us.
So maybe keeping this hand was a little bit greedy. There is an argument for it. I may just have to drop the Trifarian Horful. These Assessor draws are not really going to get us anywhere. But I'm going to pass. I'm going to see if he develops something else. Because if not, I guess I can live with this. I can't live with that. I cannot live with that.
Let me show you what I can do.
Alright, Crimson Disciple
I'll try anyone once.
allows me to trade into that.
You'll never see help behind you.
I'm always blocking here.
Here, darling.
The question is, what am I blocking out of these two? If I block here,
Keep them back.
I drop down to 11, but I'm basically at 9 health, right? If I block here, I drop down to 10, and I'm at 10. The problem is he can use the Crimson Disciple body to basically get some transfusion value, but that's something that I have to mitigate later down the line. So I'm actually gonna take down this guy, yeah.
Is that all? Grab it.
It just makes the most sense.
Nothing but Noxian might.
We go with the Basilisk Rider.
Ride on.
Eh.
Ride for Noxus. Get ready, girl.
Get ready, girl. I'll still trade those two. Probably shouldn't have, to be honest. Especially considering I have Trifarian Assessor.
Croak if you will, run if you don't.
I'm gonna drop the Precious Pet. I could have dropped the Trifarian Assessor here. I kind of just want to get rid of that though, so we can block here.
Let's get a good look at you.
We can do this, and then we can use the We can do like this. Dropping down to 5, not really ideal.
My axe is ready.
I have no whirling death or anything. I just got a little bit outpaced here. Though to be fair, my attack with the Basilisk Rider I think was a mistake. Definitely a mistake. I should not have been aggressive there. I should have used it as a blocker. And I should have chump blocked the 5-3. I just kind of like did that. I just kind of like, my brain just assumed that he got the allegiance, so I just wanted to exchange the two. But that didn't make any sense. That's definitely a play that cost me. Everything else is just like stuff like stems a little bit from that. GG. We have to really like
Learn from this.
yeah. Exactly, Darius. I gotta learn from this. Like, it's very easy to say, oh, I just drew poorly, I got unlucky. No, but the reality is I could have mulliganed more aggressively for a curve, and the Basilisk Rider attack really was bad. Like, I don't know what I was thinking there. So I gotta reflect on that a little bit. I think I should have, like, the game could have been very different if I didn't go for that attack actually, and if I mulliganed a little bit better. It's one of the risks of like running Trifairing Assessor as a full set, right? If you don't have a developed board state. It can be a bad card, and yeah, it's definitely something that I'm willing to sacrifice for the sake of having powerful card draw like I do. So, all right, round 3. Third match, third Darius in a row. Holy shit! I gotta make some like anti-Noxus aggro deck today for stream. I gotta create like a counter or something and just farm all these people. Oh my god, it's so popular. I don't know, that's kind of crazy to me because this sort of deck is cheap, I guess, right? I like keeping the Noxian Fervor with the Reckless Trifarian because you know, the thick health stat right there. Still a bit of a slower curve. I mean, we are more of a mid-range variant, but we are getting a little bit unlucky with our draws early on, for sure. Like, this is kind of ridiculous.
This land is ours.
We get the Reckless Trifarian.
Nothing can stop me.
Leave nothing standing.
And we use Noxian Fervor to buy a little bit of time here.
Only the finest serve.
I'm gonna play Trifairing Assessor.
Fuse is lit. Noxus.
Noxus!
Try me.
Yeah, I need to, like with Reckless Trifarian, you pretty much have to attack with him every turn. Because you need to either be threatening damage or use him to like get rid of certain threats. Opponent's just going crazy with the ballistas. Kato the Arm actually serves quite a bit of a good blocker here. I like Kato the Arm, I think, defensively.
Who gets tossed?
Because I can basically use Trifairing Assessor to block into the ballista.
The winter's claw.
You go into
I
the
know a
ballista.
challenge when I see one.
I mean, what if I do
This will be
this
quick.
and this?
Apologize to your parents.
It's too much damage, right?
I know a challenge when I see one.
I mean, there's not that much of a difference, but one damage
Let's
goes a
see
long
what
way.
you've got.
I would not want to be you.
Getting rid of the Overwhelm unit seems like it's more important. My opponent could very easily have a Transfusion here. But I feel like this is the block that I gotta go for.
I misjudged.
Because when my Kato takes the damage, the next time an Overwhelm attack, and a unit attacks, it can get really bad. This is interesting. If I play Darius right now doesn't really serve much of a purpose. He's just like a 6/5. I haven't dealt any damage. I need to spread out. So I'm gonna start off by developing a Crimson Disciple.
Oh, I can't wait.
Alright, Decimate. If I played Reckless Trifarian, I just died to a Noxian Fervor onto this, but if he does have that, then so be it. I have to be aggressive. I have to be aggressive. If he has Noxian Fervor, so be it. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not, you gotta keep in mind that I'm not gonna win the game by playing like, because all he needs is an overwhelm unit to just run through me at that point. Like we have a good amount of 1-drops and 2-drops. You know, we need to curve a little bit better. We've been drawing a lot of our late game against those like aggressive matchups. All right, a non-Darius matchup. Yeah, hopefully we get a proper curve going on here. I may just have to mulligan more aggressively. All right, I'm obviously gonna keep Disciple and Transfusion. All right, you know, we got a 1-drop into a 2-drop. Feels good. You know, we're not necessarily like super aggro. Like I said, we're more beefy mid-range. But the deck is designed to be able to apply pressure. Like 4 1-drops and 6 2-drops should be enough. Hello. I'm gonna see if I can punish a lack of turn 2 play.
Fight or die.
Chase them down.
I think I want to keep this guy in the back. He's not playing Sejuani, so I don't care too much about like him connecting or anything like that.
The trap is set. Nothing can stop me.
If he plays a Yeti here, I think I can. I like the idea of like double Reckless Trifarian. It's just like it's pretty damn aggressive. Like, what's the downside to that? Because obviously playing Crimson Disciple with Transfusion, I can buff one of these and I can put it out of range from removal and apply pressure there. But there's a 33% chance he's drawn into that, or even Braum. But Braum can't really handle these. You know what? I think I'm gonna go Trifarian. Because worst case scenario, he plays the Yeti and I trade one of the Trifarians into it.
War Mason, reporting for duty. For the glory of Noxus.
I'm gonna attack with these two.
Your path ends here.
That's fantastic. That's a 2-for-1 trade in my favor, just to take down one of the Reckless Trifarians. This is why this 3-drop is so good. I think I definitely want to be playing you. We don't really give Braum. Yeah, there's no point in doubling up on. Well, there is a point in doubling up. But he could have his own Transfusion in the backup. I think I have to live with that.
Let me show you what I can do.
It is easy, see? It is me!
We gotta find the opening here. Trifarian Assessor. This is the point in which Trifarian Assessor would be absolutely incredible. We go like this. No, I can have you in the back, honestly.
Noxus! Move out!
Is it better to give you the...
I give you muscles!
I'll take everything.
did.
They walked away.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
With transfusion, we're pretty close.
My shield?
One suffers, another thrives. Bottoms up.
Fight another day. The party has
Alright. We're going wide.
take heart.
We go for the defensive transfusion, and now we're going in. Ooh, I mean, we can't say no to that. For Noxus!
Stand aside.
They get along well.
Noxus will wise.
We're going in. Going with the overwhelm attack first.
Strength through suffering. And Lord and Master.
Alright. I don't understand though. Like if you can actually, well, you can't really prevent lethal, right? But if you transfusion here and here and you heal him up, I mean, you still don't live, right? But you prevent more damage that way, right? Because you get a 3/3 blocker. Out? Both of the brothers just kind of like sacrifice themselves with wound there. Brothers till the end. Alright, let's go for the next one. Not really getting too much diversity in regards to matchups today. Like we faced 3 Darius and now the second Braum in a row. Regardless, we do what we do here. I'm gonna drop the transfusion as well, because I really want to work for a proper curve here. Okay, that's looking like a proper curve. That is indeed, in fact, looking like a proper curve, ladies and gentlemen. We have a 1, 2, 3. God damn it.
No one's the wiser.
God damn it. The turn 1 Hawk really sucks here.
I'll try anyone.
Maybe I should be playing like the spider.
Let me show you what I can do.
Well, we're not in a huge hurry. Let's just build up our...
English. Come here, darling. Moving into sight. Look what you did. Oh, this hurts.
We both lose the disciples.
Carve a path.
I'm gonna play Reckless Rayfarian. We get that pesky chump blocker out of the way.
What will you have?
Oh, okay. Why? I guess he wanted to take the damage first and heal.
How about another round? What time is it?
I don't know what they say there. In the clock? What? Can somebody explain what? Like, I don't understand that line. He's playing shared spoils. Don't play shared spoils in a mid-range deck, guys.
Great.
He technically paid 6 mana for this, which makes him fine, actually. Alright, now I want to play Trifarian Assessor.
You earn the right to call themselves Trifarian.
It's a very, very powerful pro effect here.
Remember your lessons?
Teach me again.
Teach me again.
Just to be sure.
Alright, so we do have transfusion backup here.
I'll do it myself.
You can technically block here. You can block. I can keep you in the back. I don't see myself going for might this turn so much as transfusion anyways. Really? He can block here, he can block here. If that happens, let's go with his attack, I think.
I give you muscles! Let's talk about your tab.
Alright.
What's up?
Let's see what you can do.
Definitely need to transfusion here. Eliminating the 7/7 is really important, even though he could have a... I could just go with the might here.
Leave your bags at the door.
A lot of health gain going on there.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
My axe is ready.
I'm gonna play Darius because next turn I can double up on these.
This will be quick.
Step away, coward. Not so fast.
I think dealing with double of those is really important here. I think I want to go transfusion though,
The Legion waits.
because that'll put me at 7, which will allow me to survive by 1. I think that's worth it. I have to deal with Vladimir here.
My glory.
Because if I block the Tavern Keeper, yes, I keep my Darius. But his Vladimir sticks on the board and he puts me on a clock basically.
We ride for Noxus.
Because we're purely Noxus, we never have to worry about this like not going through.
The one about your door again.
Now here's the thing. I think we're just better off doing this.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
Okay.
The few are the many.
We march.
We have to go for the full-on attack here. There's no question about it. We have to.
You are safe with
Because otherwise he's too spread out.
carved meat bigger than you.
He's too spread out. So we will be able to get a massive hit here. Thanks to our Basilisk Riders, they will enable the level up for Darius. So us spending that, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
We have done well.
Nice.
Noxus is proud.
Like that transfusion play was super key, especially because, you know, I understand how the Braum deck works more or less, and they have stuff like Noxian Fervor, but besides that they don't really have the best means to like actually deal paying units, right? So a 1 health Darius can still just get 1 attack off, and I mean, we didn't have lethal and they still had an overwhelmed Poro, so it wasn't over for them. Like if they top deck like a Fury of the North and they attack with the Mighty Poro, we actually did not have an answer for that in our hand unless we top decked, you know, our Decisive Maneuver or something like that. So I still think it was a bit of a premature concede, but yeah, man, that was a tight game. It's just how it goes with this deck. It's just kind of like a bit of a race to like overwhelm them and trying to get some strong value Trifarian plays as well. Assessor, I mean. And yeah, let's go to the next one, I guess. Recording for like close to 40 minutes and no match of variety today whatsoever. Let's do a full mulligan. Let's make sure we get a bit of an earlier curve going on. Double Noxian Fervor is a little bit excessive. I mean, now with the Reckless Trifarian, it's nice. But Yeah, one of the things that I'm actually Eesh, okay.
Delicious.
For the hand!
Let's drop the reckless.
Fuse his lit! Cut him down! Try me!
I have my orders.
Yikes.
My turn. Come here, darling. Is that all?
Ride on!
We are at 10 health, which means Darius is leveled up
Oh, I can't wait.
for our opponent. So the pressure has really quite gotten there.
I have the best job. Nothing but Noxian might! Noxus!
I'm going with an attack here.
About that?
Gonna be dropping down to 6 here. I could apply a might onto this. Which does actually bring him quite low.
Time for the moneymakers.
And now all of a sudden,
Delicious.
I think we just go for it. Because yeah, we can block here and here, but we die to this anyways. So let's play around Whirling Death. Let's play around Whirling Death. And let's just hope he doesn't have a Noxian Fervor himself. We won the race. For the Noxus! Level up! Alright. So, I mean... yeah, not the most, like, you know... diversity packed video. I don't know how to phrase that. Basically, we ran into kind of like the same decks again and again. Like how many Darius did we face? I think we faced like something like 4 Darius and 2 Brahms. So yeah, basically all of our matchups were against Noxus Freljord, literally, and different variants of that. That's kind of wild. It just makes you think like how popular like Noxus is right now. I think a deck like this is just so cheap, right? I mean, mine is more like I said, more mid-rangey, right? Because I don't like just pure Smork, even though we're kind of like doing that ourselves, but a bit slower and beefier, right? But like most decks that people are running don't play Kato, they don't play Assessor, so they're just very cheap to build. They give you very quick games, and they also hard counter Heimer Vi, which is otherwise the king regarding decks right now, right? So I guess it makes sense. We didn't get to showcase Captain Farron, so no Captain Farron for the thumbnail this time around, unfortunately. But you know, Basilisk Rider, I guess, makes it in. And yeah, man, pretty straightforward deck. Just develop big dudes and smack your opponent in the face. I can play this deck for a while, and eventually I get really bored of it. So this is the kind of deck that I wanted to showcase in a live recording session like this. Since I'm going to be spending more time today on stream on Hecarim and Ren Shadowblade ideas. And I'm really excited for that. But yeah, for those of you who like to smork and like, you know, big beefy dudes and Noxus, then this may just be the deck for you. That's all I got to say though. I'm going to go ahead and eat some lunch before my stream. Thank you guys for watching. Have a swell day. Hope you enjoyed the games. And I'll see you tomorrow.